We will have you speak to us about the PURC and the developments in respect of finding the board members of the utility, and their lawyers have also written to say, well, the board members, they are not the principal officers of the ECG, and they are not in charge of the day-to-day running of the ECG, and therefore these fines slapped on them, a total of 5.9 million, is unlawful, illegal, and is void and of no legal effect. But on the relocation of Ameri, we had the Asantehene say that the government should be looking at it should be looking at, as it were, giving these key installations to private hands because of the inefficiencies in running them. What do you think about that?
This discussion, the discussion of what to privatize and what not to privatize,
right,
is a discussion that we as a nation have to have when we are thinking about how to reimagine government and charge government with certain responsibilities that they can easily cover from the revenue they are prepared, they are able to take from us. But let me address the PURC thing. I was a former chairman of the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission. Let me commend the commissioners and the management of the PURC for this courageous landmark initiative. It is a timely reminder to all directors of public and state-owned institutions that it is not just a matter of being a director and going for tea and taking the fees and going away. You have fiduciary and legal responsibilities, and one day you may be called upon to account for what you do. You see, every board has an audit and compliance committee. At every board meeting, you have to ask your compliance and audit committee whether management as a whole is in compliance with all their agreements, all the regulations that they have to abide with. And when the government has set up the cash waterfall mechanism, which means that ECG, like all companies in the world, have to pay for their raw material before they pay themselves and their allowance. That is the rule, and the directors should have been asking management, are you in compliance? And if they say they didn't know, then it means that their audit and compliance committee was not functioning properly. And I am happy that this timely reminder to directors that they have legal and fiduciary responsibility. And I'm hoping that the whole country will support the PURC just as we should support the Auditor General when he also comes with his findings. And I'm sure that as we are also supporting the PURC, they themselves will also know that one day, a consumer is going to take them to court for not regulating ECG properly, so that the Dumsor, which is the power station, are destroying its electrical equipment. And let me say that I'm happy it started with the ECG of all companies, because directors of ECG must know, and those appointing them must know, that you need responsible, competent professionals there. Why do I say that? Electricity is now the nerve end of every economy, as well as our security. If you do not have electricity, your network is not working. Those Ghanaians who are allowed to work at home cannot work if the network is not working. You go to a bank to try to withdraw money, they say our system is down. So ECG is at the nerve center, and therefore getting them to know this timely reminder of their judicial and judicial responsibility, I think it's time, and we should commend them.
Among the orders that they had made for the ECG to comply with was for payment of tariff revenue as prescribed by the cash waterfall mechanism, submission of details of all bank accounts operated by the ECG. They were talking about 61 of these accounts. PRC said it has received details of 36 out of the 61 bank accounts. When it comes to the payment in as prescribed by the cash waterfall mechanism, ECG is yet to pay the shortfalls from August 2023 to February 2024. They also asked for copies of ECG's power outage publications from the 1st of January to 2024 to date. They say that the publications submitted did not cover all incidents of planned outages. Load management timetable, they asked for a load management timetable. No document has been submitted in that regard. Now, the lawyers for the directors, they are right, are they not, when they say that is the entity that you must target and not us. And in any case, the directors are not officers of the principal officers of the company, the members of the board, they are not.
I mean, when we say officers of the company, directors are key. You know, when you are a director, people in Ghana should learn from this. I hope it's a tipping point that you don't accept to be a director if you are not prepared to do the work. And when you go there, it's just time to go and consume tea, coffee, and take your allowance. Whenever you are taking your monthly allowance, you are signaling to the shareholders of ECG, that is Ghanaian, that you are doing the work we put you there to do. All the officers of the company are responsible. Directors are company officers, so they are responsible.
They quote section 38 of the Act, Act 538, and they say it's specific there that a default on the part of a public utility in the payment of a penalty may lead to the personal liability of a principal officer of the public utility. And they say that under section 49 of the same law, a principal officer in that law means, quote, the person responsible for the day-to-day administration of the affairs of the public utility. That's why they are saying board members of the ECG are not responsible for the day-to-day administration of ECG and therefore are not principal officers within what the law is seeking. And therefore what has been done, they say it's not only unlawful, it is null and void and it's without any jurisdiction. So it's an empty paper as far as they are concerned, an empty order.
I think that let the lawyers fight over what is lawful and what is not unlawful. And this is why we have the court, you know. I think that in the fight to make Ghana a country of law and order, this PURC move is important. Whether it is implemented or not, it signals to directors that you are officers of the company. You know, obeying a contract is not a day-to-day affair. Directors are responsible. Directors approve contract and then designate who should sign the contract. If you are chairman of the board of a company, you have a lot of responsibility. You know, so for me, this discussion, this initiative, is bold and courageous on the part of PURC. I'm sure that if they had done the usual Ghanaian way, oh, Charlie, leave it to God, oh, somebody in power, the minister may not be happy, and this and that. Look, they've taken a bold initiative. It's a timely reminder to all of us that directors have a responsibility. And let it go to court, and let the court decide that when directors are taking decisions, it only affects the managing director. The managing director has one vote at the board level. So when you say officers, when people sue a company, they sue the officers of the company. And I've never heard in my whole life in the public sector somebody saying that the officers is just the managing director and not the directors. The directors take a critical decision and they are responsible. And I think this also will teach directors to take seriously the minutes of a company. When the minutes come and you don't agree, you say so, and it's recorded. And this one, if a director has asked at the board meeting, where is the compliance report, and management has not brought it, then the director can say, they didn't bring the compliance report, so there's no way I would have known that they were not complying with the cash waterfall mechanism. Then it will be recorded. That particular director can then be exempted from this penalty. But if directors are saying, oh, where am I going to get the money to pay? I mean, your properties are seized or you go to jail. There's a jail. And that would be a good lesson. So when people are asked to become directors, they will say no. And also, they are sued separately and severally, which means that those directors with deeper pockets bear more responsibility. And therefore, when you are on a board with people who are not serious, who have no, what do we call it?
Business being there.
No good name to lose. No good name, no reputation to lose. You are very careful and you make sure that in the minute you say, please record me as being against this. The same way we'll go to Parliament one of these days, somebody is going to take parliamentarians to court for allowing, for not stepping in and processing properly the loans that are brought to Parliament for approval, and they approve them. Okay? So somebody will take them to court for not doing their job.
All right.
And the only thing that will save them is that in the minutes of Parliament, they voted against it.
All right.
So I'm sure this is it has opened a great door for Ghanaians to expect proper accountability from our board of directors.
All right, thank you very much.
Are shifting away from that. We don't want state enterprises. They are not competent. Why? Because we never hold them accountable. And people think they can appoint their nieces to boards with no competence.
All right.
If they go and misbehave and they are sued, their properties are seized, they go to debtors' prison. Next time you go home and say, I want my nephew, the whole family will say, hey, Daddy, we don't want you to go and get in jail.
Thank you very much. Mr. Kwame Pianim is an economist and one-time chairman of the board of the PURC.